Our last speaker for the morning session is Carletta Garroway. She worked for Gear Up, an Evergreen State College program providing academic support and college prep for high school students. She's also the co-founder and executive director of the Northwest Connection to Higher Education. Please welcome Carletta Garroway.
If I could help somebody as I travel on, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody that he's traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. Good morning. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. I thank those that organized this event for this opportunity to speak before you. Wow, you look amazing. I'm looking out among you, and my breath is just taken away because I'm seeing not only women that are coming out for a common good, but men supporting these women. So we are here to let our voices be heard and let our presence be felt. Generally, I always start when I speak with that song because that has been my theme song, because that is God's mission and purpose in my life. As I reviewed the website, there's a term there's a phrase that stuck out to me. We are confronted with questions of how to move forward in the face of national and international concern and fear. I would like for us to think of that a little bit differently, because as I was growing up, my mother always taught me not to worry about things that I can't control or change. It's a waste of time. And from the Bible, I've learned that God doesn't want us to walk and live in fear. He wants us to stand in faith and walk in belief that He will guide us through every storm that we encounter. Yes, we're in the midst of a storm, and I know that He's going to bring us through it. And what we're doing now is going to last beyond 4 years of any political term. I have 2 daughters in college, and when they'll call me and they're stressed out about taking exams, and I always remind them, concentrate on what you know and don't focus on what you don't know. Because when you do that, you forget about what you do know and you mess up. So let us concentrate on what we know in moving forward. What I also know is that just like many of you, I come from a long lineage of hard-working women. I had the privilege of knowing my great-great-grandmother Ruth, who lived in South Carolina, and I remember being in her house one day and looking up at her wall, and she had this certificate, because she was a midwife, and the renewal certificate was dated 1918. Believe it or not, she was a woman that, in talking to her, mother was a house slave, and on my dad's side, they were field slaves. I know my heritage, and we need to make sure that our children know their heritage, because my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mother fought for the rights that we have today, and I'm not going to let that go away. And so my children also had the pleasure of meeting their great-grandmother. So they also were learning that. And I know that my grandmother was a single mother of 6 kids. Her husband was killed when the kids were young. This is in the Deep South. She had to figure out how to take care of those kids without social assistance and without anything else. My mother had to pick 300 pounds of cotton a day in order to help provide for her family when she was in high school. Can you imagine your 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th graders having to leave high school to pick cotton? 300 pounds of cotton. That's a hell of a lot of cotton.
You got that right.
But that's what my mother based her nurturing of us. She taught us that we had to respect each other. that we have the love of family, and we don't let society teach our children. So we as women and as men have got to stand up and be present and let our presence be known. Thank you.
Thank you.